Hey, y'all.
Hi,
How's it going?
going well. How
Hey,
you
you
doing?
doing?
Great. Happy, wealthy, and worthy Wednesday.
Yes,
Lana, it's good to see you, girl.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Good to be back.
yes, very good to have you back.
Awesome. All right, y'all. So, listen, if y'all, let me see, let me get my chat together. Drop it in the chat. Let us know where y'all tuning in from, y'all. We getting started today. We got some juicy stuff today, which we are pumped about. So listen, we see y'all um loading on in. Let me make sure I got
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
come on in.
The
Thanks for
link
coming.
the LinkedIn people we
Thanks
represent
for
too.
joining. Hi,
Yeah.
Michelle. I see Michelle didn't
Hi,
join.
Ashley.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
this is
y'all.
Instagram I'm talking to.
Yeah, me
So we
too.
got all the screens, okay?
Good to be
Yes,
back.
very good.
Let me mute this side. Okay. Okay, cool. Welcome to Wealthy and Worthy Wednesday. All right, y'all. So today is a little different. Instead of our kind of usual format where we have the experts speaking, today we're actually going to talk and take you all behind the scenes of Wealthy and Worthy, which is happening in Atlanta this August. All right, August 21st through the 23rd. Our private community is gathering. You can head over to wealthyworthy.org and capture your early bird tickets. They are valid through July 1st. So you only have, what is that, like a week?
A week. Mm-hmm.
To capture the tickets. We had some rush tickets come in this week, so that's good. Y'all are tracking. Y'all are seeing that the time is winding down. All right. So for months now, actually, not even months, because we were scheduled for last year October, and
Wow.
due to personal health issues, we had to postpone. So we have been working on this bit, y'all, for over a year to
Hmm.
make sure that it is intentional, that we are being bringing our best to what we believe is going to be a transformational experience for any ambitious woman, really, that wants to redefine their wealth, their success, their legacy, right? And change how they work and lead. All right. So today we want to pull back the curtain a little bit and we're going to talk about what was the motivation for creating Wealthy and Worthy? What inspired us to finally meet in person? Because we've been doing online for some years. And what attendees can expect, what part of the experience we're most excited about, and who this event is really going to be curated for, right? Because some of you have been wondering, whether Atlanta is for you. And so today's conversation should really help answer that question for you, okay? So
Mhm.
let's lock in. And if you have questions, right, drop them in the chat because we want to answer them and we want to have this discussion with y'all so y'all feel good about joining our team in person. All right. So let's get into it, ladies. All right.
Yeah.
So when you think about, all of the kind of women events that are happening, there's a ton for women, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of leadership events, networking opportunities that um, people have the opportunity to participate in, right? What gap did you see kind of in the space that made you feel like wealthy and worthy was absolutely necessary?
Hmm. I think for me, I see a lot of like experts of this and experts of that, right? And it's always like very topic specific, right? And I think what we're missing as women is the practical, life things that we go through and the information on how to navigate like real life situations, right? So yes, we all have our career, we all have our businesses that we run, we all have these things, but what about how those things impact our families? What about how it impacts us as a person? Like, how do I navigate when I'm exhausted, tired, overwhelmed, right? And so for me, I tend to shy away from events that is not feeding my everyday practical life. Now, when I'm focused on like building my business, of course, I want to go somewhere where I can get information on how to build my business, right? But we can find those so many places. right? And we want to, but how do I build, relationships with my children? How do I build closeness to my family or to my husband? How do I build a legacy for my family, right? So
Yeah.
outside of business, how do I grow my money to where I can be free to be able to do the things that I want to do, like spend time, quality time, which for me is most important, right? And so that's kind of the gap that I've seen that I think that Wealthy and Worthy is going to bring some answers for, So I'm excited about that part.
I love that. What about you, Jay?
Oh man, how does it fill the gap? I think in an incredible way. I mean, Talana talked about the experts, right? And having the experts in the room and what it looks like,
Hmm.
in this practical sense of how to move things forward. And I think the element is there for Wealthy and Worthy, but what I've seen missing in other spaces is this experts of this specific genre. We've got a strategist, we've got a mental health specialist, we've got a doctor in the building, and we've got an individual who is the architect of the vision as far as curating a home, a space. That's me. I've never seen that ever. I've never seen those types of individuals come together to have a discussion about, yes, not only the practical and the external ways to see yourself, but talking about the inner work that comes in being able to receive that wealth once you have achieved it. Many women are of this mindset that they understand sometimes structurally what needs to be done. That's what they've been doing, right? I know I go to work, I get a paycheck. If I
Right.
become an entrepreneur, then I got to structure a business and do A and B. And while, some of the technique isn't there, and that's where strategy is for, they are not connected to the inner work. They're not connected in the sound way psychologically. They're not connected in the sound way physiologically. They're not connected in the sound way of like, here's the experiential data of what I did, getting connected in those ways, and then bringing it outward and watching my world transform. That's the gap. That's what we're
Wow.
feeling. And it's
Woo!
incredible. Yeah.
That's good. That's real.
Exciting. Oh, that's exciting.
Oh man,
Yes,
we're
let's
fired me
go.
right up. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
good. Yeah.
that is beautiful, right? To
Yeah.
hear you all be able to articulate in your own ways, like the vision, that God gave me, right? Because I didn't explain it to you in that way. Like, like I
Right.
just, hey, there's this thing that I'm supposed to build, right? And y'all were like, yeah, we think we're supposed to help you build it, right? And we just been
We
riding, right?
know. We don't think. We know we're supposed to help you build it.
Come on,
That's
We
sis.
right.
know. Yeah.
Yes. And so with that, it's so beautiful to hear you all kind of reflect back to me like what that looks like for you and how you're, showing up in that way, right? Using your gifts to add value to this community of women that we are going to be pulling together. And I think for me, even when I first presented this is actually an interesting question because I didn't think about the gap at
Mm.
all. I was solely focused on what God told me to do. And if I'm really being honest, focused on my hard headedness of not wanting to do it. Right? I'm gonna just keep it 100, right? Like, I literally was like, well, why would I need to do that? That's a lot more work. My online business is functioning just fine. Like, why do I need to do all of this work to be in person, right? And so there was that in the beginning of like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And so we finally, got to the point where I'm like, okay, great. I'm gonna do it.
You
Um,
started listening just a little bit.
Girl, yes, I'll be hard headed sometimes, okay? But listen, ain't nothing like being jacked up by the Lord, okay? So once I got jacked up, I said, okay.
Right.
But right, like really, really, what I think prompted me to move with a level of urgency was the heartbreak of seeing two of my colleagues from the academic space. Right, I left academia a few years back. But seeing two of my colleagues, wildly ambitious, wildly smart, talented women, just die. unexpectedly and work themselves into the ground, literally chasing wealth, chasing status, chasing success, proving themselves, right? And it was almost like I watched a real life sickness of an inability to stop, like literally, like an inability to stop. Like one of them, I remember being on the call and she was in the hospital, and I said, "Why are you on this call? Like, what is happening?" And I sent her a separate email and was like, "Friend, like, take care of yourself. This can wait. This is not that important, right?" And it was just kind of met with like, "Oh yeah, like this is why it's super important to me," right? And I just wasn't for it, right? And then within a week, I got a LinkedIn notification from her team that they were announcing her passing, right? And I was mortified. I was completely mortified, but also I think moved to a deep place of empathy because I remember what it was like to be in that space and to feel like I had to do the thing at all costs. I needed to show up. There were people depending on me, right? Like I know what that pressure feels like, and having moved through it, grown through it, evolved through it, it felt selfish for me to not share the way, right? And for me, wealthy and worthy is not an invitation to say we figured it out and we have all the answers. It is an opportunity to hear from so many different women about their path, and for you to say, "Oh my gosh, I want to take a note from her book, a note from her book, a note from her book, and I want to create my own strategy for how I can move through this because I now see real live examples of what it looks like on the other side." Right? And not that it's not going to be hard or it won't be complicated or I may not feel lost throughout that process, but I have kind of a North Star of like, this is where I'm aiming. This is what it could look like, some semblance of success, right? Of embarking on this journey that really reinforces that you are actually chasing what you already are.
Can I
You're already,
parenthetically insert something there?
absolutely.
So many of you who come on a regular have noticed that I've been absent, right? And this goes into alignment with what you're talking about now, right? And this is also given a hype up and a thank you to my girls on this call, because without you guys, I would not be able to navigate the things that are happening within my life now. So I can share with the audience that I have a very close family member who has experienced a medical situation or emergency that has required me to move them into my home. Okay. And not required me, but I lovingly wanted them here. Okay. And so for me, we are living real life. As we are putting together Wealthy and Worthy, we are actually living Wealthy and Worthy out
Real time.
currently in our
Yeah.
lives. And what that looks like is showing up for one another, what these ladies on this call have done multiple times throughout this process. And this has happened within the last 3 to 4 weeks. So it has been like a quick shift, turnaround, dynamics changing within your household. You have taken on more, right? Which
Yeah.
requires me then to put down some other things because they will be there, right? So my girls are here. They are still doing the lives. They are still rolling and running. But in the background, we are really dealing with real life situations. And this is what makes me even more passionate about it, is because I want the women to understand that we're just not up here just saying the things because they sound good. Like, we are literally living them out. And we are coming with information to show you how to successfully do it too, right? It's not saying that we know everything, like Dr. Tiana said. We don't know all the answers. But what we have built is a loving community within our support group who has been amazing and have made this transition for me. I think if I had this transition 10 years ago, I would have been a wreck. I would have been a wreck, a total wreck, because I myself had not grown to the point that I am now, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I had not created my safe circle of friends and support that I would need to navigate, the people I could lean on when I'm not feeling as strong, and it's so important, you guys, to be in a room of ladies who can not just teach you information, but that can be in the gap and lean in the gaps for you. And one of the things that I think is important about Wealthy and Worthy is not only what you will learn on the stage, but also the connections that you will make in between the stage.
Yeah.
Right? The moments in between where you build the relationships. I met Dr. Tiana at a Bible study at a church we went to was that over 10 years ago?
It was like 12 years ago.
It's like 12 years ago, right? At a Bible study that I did not feel like going to, right? But because I pushed through, because I forced myself to be in environments that, I was uncomfortable in, I was able to build a lifelong friendship and sisterhood that has, been amazing these last 12 years. And so I just wanted to pause and just put that out there, because life happens even when we're doing these lives, even when we're on the stage teaching, even when we're promoting our businesses. And what happens then?
Yeah. So good. So good. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. That
And
is,
I'm happy to be back.
yeah, happy to have you back, girl. Yes, it is exactly that, right? We're walking the walk.
Mhm.
Not perfectly, but we are committed to the process. And so it makes it much easier to be able to do it together. So I love that, y'all. So, okay. So as we shared, what the gap is, when you all hear wealthy and worthy, what does it mean to you personally? Like, when I first told y'all what the name was going to be, like, what came up?
You want to go, Jeannie?
I think what came up was wealth creation beginning from an internal space of knowing about our inherent value. I think when I heard it, I thought, whoa, the two things to me, they've always existed kind of independently, right?
Yeah.
I know that I've like,
Okay.
in a real way, sacrificed in some ways, um, that connection to the inherent knowing that I'm worth it, that I'm valuable outside of productivity. I mean, that's the discovery you make when you've had extensive psychotherapy, right? As you start to realize, oh, what have I paired? What is my understanding? What are the core beliefs to how I see myself and how I see myself specifically connected to the world around me? And when I thought about wealth, I always thought the genesis of wealth only came from this place of wanting to be free, wanting to be seen as capable, and wanting to be seen as someone who could produce, and that there was value in me in that. So when I heard you say it, I'm like, whoa, wealthy and worthy.
Yeah.
They, yes, there's a connection, but these are two separate things that we need to work on embodying, work on being able to receive because they exist in all forms and facets. They're not things that we're chasing. They're
Mm.
things that we inherently are. You are inherently a wealthy and abundant human being, and are inherently a worthy, valuable, capable, incredible human being. So when you said it, yeah, it lit me up. But You don't really have to say much to ignite me. You know that, friend.
Yes. Oh, thank you for saying that. I love that. Okay, what you got, Talana?
So mine is in the same vein as what Jeannie is saying. So as someone who has spent years helping people transform like both their physical spaces and their personal lives,
Yeah.
wealthy and worthy um, means understanding that your value exists before any achievement, title, income level, or accomplishment, right? And to me, wealth starts internally, and worthiness is the foundation,
Yes.
right? So when a woman truly knows her worth, she stops settling, she starts investing in herself, and begins creating a life that reflects what she believes she deserves.
Yes. Yes. That's
And
exactly
that's
right.
what comes up for me. So for most people, when they hear wealth, they're thinking money. It's always like money, 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 right? Building money. And that's important. We don't want to negate that. Like that
Yeah.
is very important.
Yeah.
However, one thing that I see in society that is fleeting is self-worth, is self-building, is worthiness, and how we feel, and because how we feel then reflects what our life is and what our life becomes. And so it's very important. So that's what comes up for me. It's always internal first.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
What about you, Dr. Tiana?
Um, okay. Now, when the Lord gave me the name, because listen, y'all, I'm smart, but I'm not that genius, okay?
Right.
like he gave me that name, okay? He gave me Legacy League 2 before he showed me what it was gonna look like. Like he just gave me the names, right? And when he first gave me Wealthy and Worthy, I thought it's too simple. Like I was like, I need a little extra, right? Like, And I sat with it for a while before I even shared it with the group. And it's interesting because over these last 2 years almost now that we've been like planning this, the meaning has evolved of what it means to me personally, right? And so when I think about it and I have to answer for it today of what wealthy and worthy means, it really boils down for me to identity. Because we will always behave in a way that is congruent with what we believe about ourselves. And even when we create huge amounts of wealth, like just monetarily, financially, right? Like just cash dollars, I watch so many women squander it. They don't know how to multiply it. They don't know how to grow it. They get it and they lose it, right? They are not good stewards of it, right? And a lot of it boils down to identity. They don't inherently feel worthy, even though they've worked really, really hard for it, right? They don't feel worthy of it. And so it shows up in their behaviors, in their actions, right? In the stories that they tell themselves about money, right? And so for me, the wealth that I, spent the last decade teaching in a university-based business school about, that is the easy part. Like I can teach you that like easily, right? You want some money? Okay, come on over here. I'm gonna tell you exactly, multiple people can attest to, right? Getting women's businesses to the 6-figure mark, right? Which we know less than 15% of women-owned businesses hit 6 figures, right? We know this. The data is very clear in the United States about the growth of women-owned businesses, right? I can teach you that. That's easy, right? The difficult part is the worthy part, right? And that is what the event is going to be an invitation into, of like, okay, you've done the thing, right? Wealthy and Worthy is for the women who have already done the thing, girl. Like you did it, but have you even recognized that you did it? Have you celebrated yourself that you finally made it? How does it feel in your body to have finally made it? Are you able, like Jeannie said, to receive it? Right? Or are you on to the next thing? Are you already mapping out the next goal? Are you already pushing past that moment of celebratory that should be happening, right? When you reach a goal, right? But many of my clients, right, they aren't, they can't, they don't know how to, because they are chasing something that they don't even realize they're missing.
And it's like their successes are segmented instead of collaborative,
Yes.
right? So it's like you have this section. I have this thing to do. Once I accomplish that, go on to the next thing. Okay, I accomplished that. Not even taking the time to understand that this thing right here was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And it changes the trajectory moving forward of everything you do beyond that. And so you can't not celebrate this.
Yes.
And move on to the next thing. You're going to burn out. You are going to feel exhausted and unappreciated in a lot of ways, because we are trying to do everything ourselves, And so it has to be a collaborative. Life is collaborative. It's not this, what do you call it, compartmentalized
space. Yeah. No,
here, right?
What you're saying is so wonderful, because I think I just want to add on to that. There is a psychological benefit to allowing yourself to immerse yourself inside of your victories and the change in you, the version of you, embracing the version of you that emerges when you shift. I think people miss that. They're like, I've done this, I'm accomplishing all of these things, and they're like, on to the next, on to the next.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you need to let it root. Letting it root means I'm now becoming and immersing myself inside of the new version of myself. So I was a woman who didn't make six figures at one point. Right. And then when I switched to the six figures, I didn't celebrate it. I didn't let it root. I didn't let it mentally sink in. I didn't allow for the process of being inside of that new version to take hold. But when I do that, what comes is I have and function inside of that new realm, inside of that new version, because it's rooted. People always wonder, why am I still kind of acting like I was when I didn't make six figures? Because you never let it root that you hit six figures. You never celebrated it. You never allowed it to become a part of your DNA. You never allowed yourself to psychologically buy in to the new version of you. And that takes work, and it takes grief, because there's an old version of you that dies in that in some way for the new version to live. It's a difficult process. And when we compartmentalize, yes, we are not accessing that we are a wife now, that we are a mother now, that we are a CEO now, that we are a six-figure earner now, or a seven-figure earner now, or an eight-figure earner now, right? Like, let's go, right? It's a beautiful thing.
That is identity work, right?
So good.
Identity work. And so much of it too, you all, is for us, right? We're believers, right? And so Jesus gives us our identity. And when I think about wealthy and worthy from that perspective as well, it's one of those things of like, okay, God, we got to go back to the basics of like, who do you say we are, and how are we designed and created to function, right? So for me, it is understanding fundamentally that women are not designed to chase. We are designed to attract, right? So with that being said, there ain't nothing holy about hustling. No, I'm serious. Like,
I know you are. I know you are.
You're hurting some feelings out here. You're bringing in some
nothing holy about hustling,
right?
Okay?
Like when I am operating in that identity, I am outside of my divine design. That is why it feels hard, because I'm going against my nature. It's not that I can't do it. I've proven that I can do it, right? Until breast cancer said, sit down somewhere, have several seats, right?
all the way down.
Right.
All the way down.
All the way down, right? And so I said, oh, whoa, okay, right? But what people forget, right? God is simple. The principles are simple, and the principles apply whether you believe or not, right? But when you're operating outside of your design, right, you are going to have glitches. Disease is dis-ease in your body, right? You are functioning outside of your capacity. That's all that sin is. It is a archery term that means missing the mark. The Bible, God's intention is the way. Okay? So he is teaching you principles by which to live your life so that you don't miss the mark, so that you can experience heaven on earth, right? Ain't nothing heavenly about hustling either. So the point, right, is that we are.
No, because I have to, the comments are like, woo!
They're going crazy.
Angela came in and said, Sherlon came in and said, ain't nothing holy about hustling. I need to use that.
Come on. Come on, friend. Yes.
Sherlon's actually been on fire.
Come on, Sherlon.
You walk differently, you talk differently, you act differently. You're right, Sherlon. We're with you.
Come on. Yes, right? So, but again, when you are clear on the identity, the behavior naturally follows, right? And so, as with everything we share on Wealthy and Worthy Wednesday, none of it's ever about shame or blame. It's really, really about taking an honest look at where you are compared to where you want to be, period, right? And then having the courage, right, to make those changes, right, in baby steps, because this ain't going to happen overnight, like Jeannie often talks about, right? Like, it is a process. However, when you do it with support and in community, it makes the journey a little bit easier to bear. Mm-hmm. And so that is why we are gathering in person. That is why we are insistent on showing up on y'all's feed every week, because we are, right? Because we are trying to drive the message home, right? That there is another way, and the way is better, right? It ain't just another way, it's better, right? So that is what the heart is, right, of this experience. So listen, y'all got me on fire. Okay, now look, let me see. We about halfway already through the discussion. Okay, so let's go to this. Let's go to the third question. Okay, now let's talk about the women who we want and we need to see in this room. Okay, so from y'all's perspective, let's do it twofold in one. Okay, who will get the most value from this experience? And then what would you say about the woman who keeps telling herself that she will invest in herself later?
Okay, say that second part again. I know the first part was
who will benefit most.
Okay.
And what would you say to her if she keeps telling herself, I'll invest later, I'll invest later, I'll do it later?
Okay, so I think it's the person who would, or woman who would get the most value is the woman who knows she was created for more, but hasn't fully given herself permission to pursue it.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right, and so so she's ready to stop just surviving and start intentionally creating the next version of her life, or the version that she's always dreamt of, right? And then after that, I would tell her, the one who's talking about, I'll get to it later, girl, we don't know if later will even come, right? So I would tell her that later is one of the biggest dream killers there is.
Come on. That's it. Yes. Period.
I have nothing more to say.
Drop the mic, okay? Drop the mic, the virtual mic, okay? Jay, what you got? Dude, that was a good one. That was a good one.
That was so good. I have that this is for the woman who's craving more than motivation, the woman who knows that to achieve the more, because she knows, like Tiana said, that she's destined for more, that she can't keep becoming by abandoning herself, because that's what she's been doing. That's how she's been living. If this is a room for women who want depth, who are rooted in truth, who are willing to make the courageous decision. So, and the courage specifically is about what's in my heart and honoring what's in my heart. What's the purpose that's been put in my heart? What's the purpose that's been put in my body? And honoring that no matter what the external looks like in the present time. Because, like Talana said, later doesn't exist. I say this to my patients all the time. There are things like, oh, I should do, I should be, I will do. Not that doesn't exist. You are speaking in language that does not exist.
Wow.
If you want something, it's now. We create in the now. We don't create from the past. We do not create from the future. We create in now.
That's so
So
good.
what would I say to the woman who's saying later? I would say just that. You create from now. You are a creator. You've always been destined to create. We don't create later.
Come
We
on.
create from now. Yeah.
Create like our creator. Okay. Now,
Hey.
okay, now what I love so much about what you just shared, Jay, is that this actually came up in the 1K a day class that I did a couple weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said to the ladies, I was listening back actually to the replay, and I surprised myself because I said, self, I didn't even know that was a lesson, okay, that I learned until I said it to them, right? But what I said to them was, I wish that somebody would have told me that ready was not a destination, that it was a decision.
Mm.
And
Wait, you got to repeat it one more time.
right? I wish, right? In hindsight, right? I wish that somebody would have told me that ready was not a destination, it was a decision. And so I had invited them, right, to make the decision, right? Because no decision is also a decision. Right? Like you're choosing to be in ambivalence. You're choosing to sit in the in between. You're choosing to, as Jeannie said, forsake your desires, right? For what's happening right now, even though that may not be what you want, right? So it's one of those things that, like I said, I wish I would have known sooner, right? Like, and then, but it's like the minute that I knew it, I said, I have to share this because this is what changed my life. Was just like, girl, are you doing the thing or not? Like, and that's how I talk to myself. Okay, I don't know how y'all talk to yourselves, but that's how. Are you doing it or not? Like, what's
doing it or not?
Right?
Because you're creating no matter what. You are creating no matter what. You're either intentionally creating or or unintentional creating.
Right.
Either way, you are creating. Just so you know, friend, doesn't stop because you're inactive. Inactive creates too.
Let's talk about the truth, right? Right. And as we always tell y'all, we cannot be free until we're honest. And so we want, right, to invite y'all into this space where you can just be honest, just say what it is. Like, it is what it is, right? Like, I spent my fair share of being ready, right? Like, now I know I got the memo, right? And so we're passing it on, right? So that your learning curve can be much quicker than ours, right? So that's where our heart is, okay? Right. So, okay, now y'all, we about to get to the fun part, okay? This is going to be real rapid fire. So I'm going to ask y'all the question and then we're going to just pop to the next one, okay? Which speaker are you most excited for the attendees to hear?
Ooh.
I'm most excited for them to hear from you, Dr. Tiana. And I say that because you are the creator of this whole event, right? And the heart behind it, and because I am a part, you guys, of now her trading group, okay, of women, okay. I just have to say, listening to Dr. Tiana teach about wealth has been so enlightening for me. And so I'm just getting a little taste of what you guys are going to get. So for me, I'm excited. Okay. I am super geeked about you teaching the women about wealth and how that plays a part in legacy and all of those things. So yeah, I'm super excited about them hearing from you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I am super excited, and I'm going to say it loud and proud because this is something that I don't do. I'm super excited for them to hear from me.
Come on,
Because
girl.
I am someone who has lived my life
Yes.
struggling to curate my voice, struggling to really find that full energetic connection to
Yeah.
speaking. And I have patients I talk to all day, but speaking to a
Come
room
on.
full of women who I don't relate to in that way scares me,
Okay.
forces me to be seen, something I
Yeah.
needed my whole life. So I'm excited for them to hear what God has dropped into my spirit that
Come
I
on.
want to share with them. I'm excited
Let's
for
go,
that.
girl. Yes. Give me goosebumps. Yes. That's amazing. Come on. I love that.
I love that
So,
too. Come on.
okay. So mine for real is actually Tiana. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because
Don't make me cry today.
I probably will. But I'll tell you why. Because, like you mentioned earlier, right? Like we have been friends for 12 since your youngest was like 6 months old. We've been friends that long. So he's what, 13 now?
14. Mm-hmm.
14, right? So it's actually been longer than that. Okay. So when I think about that, right? Like when I first met you, I was a single young gal. You were in the Bible study with your husband, right?
Yeah.
And your husband actually ended up like knowing my cousin. So me and your husband started talking first. And like, you were not like this like snooty, like church lady that was like, who's this young single girl talking to my man? You know, like you came up and you were like super warm, super friendly. And I was like, we should be friends. Like, you know, and you were like, yes, like happy to, like, let's go to lunch and like get to know each other. And like, you were just so like inviting, right? And like, I was so curious about marriage. You know, I was dating, had kissed a few frogs, and I was like, I don't really know what this is like right now. Like, I want to be married, but like, I don't really know. And you were just so gracious in like letting me into, right? Like when I think about like friendship and like intimacy, right? Like intimacy is like into me, you see, right? And then mentoring is actually allowing someone to tour your life. And so for me, you were like the first mentor that I had as an adult that just was like, ask me anything. Like, I'm an open book. Like, yes, you can come into my home. Like, yes, you can. And I'm sure you use discernment, right? To decide whether I was a safe person for that. But like, you were just so gracious with your family, with your husband. Like, as a single person, if I needed something when dating, you were like, let's let Chris check them out, right? Like you like you know, you were just unapologetic about it. And I feel like so many more women need that and like deserve that. And even as we are becoming more seasoned saints, right? Like I am much more attuned to making myself available in that way to the younger generation because I had it modeled for me so beautifully. And y'all have just been, you and your husband have just been such an incredible gift to my family, to y'all are my son's godparents. Like it's just like, it has been a gift. And I don't know that you even always realize what a gift it is, and you are. And so for you to be able to pour out to other women around like, this is how we cultivate the relationships that, you know, I'm serious. Like I believe in giving the flowers, right? Like I think that more people need, especially women, need exposure to other women like that. And so I think that you're going to give them some really good like tools on how to start cultivating that for themselves and in their own lives. Because again, it has been a gift in my life of recognizing like, listen, the Bible says a friend sticks closer than a brother, right? And like you and Chris have been that for me and for my husband. And so it has just been my pleasure. So I'm just thrilled to give you the stage and allow you to shine and allow everybody else to see just the heart that you bring to that topic. So
Thank you. Thank you, T. Thank you, Dr. T.
yes,
And Trayvon, thank you for the beautiful comment too in the comments. I appreciate that.
yes,
So beautiful.
yes.
So beautiful.
Love
Oh
that.
my goodness.
Okay, y'all. That was be quick. Okay, let's do one more. What's
Y'all
one
getting the real today, okay?
what's one surprise element that we haven't talked a bunch about that y'all think the women are going to be talking about 6 months from the event?
I have a immediate response to that. It's the
Okay.
relationships that will continue long after the event ends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's the room itself is going to be one of the biggest, greatest assets that the attendees walk into. I remember going to like a large event. It may have been like a Sarah Jakes event or something like that, but it was a stage full of just phenomenal women, and they all had great information to share and great insight, right? And as I'm walking out, this older, like more mature lady approached me and she says, "You know, I noticed you when you walk in." And she just started really speaking into my life to the point of tears, of me crying. There have never met the lady, just a random. And that moment is the moment that sticks out in my mind of that entire event.
Love
All
it.
the money I spent to go there, all of the input, and the great advice and great information that I gathered, that one encounter with that one woman that had nothing to do with the event is
Yeah.
what I remembered and was my greatest takeaway from that time. And so don't underestimate the things even outside of the event itself that is
Yeah.
sitting in the room for you. And so that's something we have not talked about yet. We
I love
mentioned it a little bit today, but that's not the overall focus of the event, but it is a great impact that you may walk away with, and so yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What you got, Jay?
I think they'll be surprised by the ability to have implementation in the immediate. So start
Mm,
to learn and hear from us all, and then immediately be tasked with implementing. I think that is, many people get the data, they get the knowledge on all those things, and then they go, it's like, okay, I'm going to apply this when I get home. No, you'll start. You'll start now. You
Yeah.
start creating today.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that
On,
actually is
on,
so
on the
good.
spot. Yeah.
Yes, that's so good that you actually mentioned that, Jay, because that is actually how we're actually curating the agenda, right? So the agenda is literally going to be curated where y'all are going to be doing what I call executions, right? You're literally going to be executing in real time throughout the entire experience. So I think you're going to be surprised by that. As Judy said, we not over here with notebooks collecting information, okay?
Mhm.
We doing
Yeah.
the thing, right?
We're saying, what's courage? What's your heart's deepest desire? And we're saying, okay, what's that look like
We're
for real?
acting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Okay, y'all. Let's close with this, right? Imagine there's a woman watching today. Maybe she's joining us live, or maybe she's rewatching the replay, right? And she's thinking about coming to Wealthy and Worthy, but she's a little like still unsure, maybe on the fence, right? What would you say to her in one sentence of why she needs to be in Atlanta this August?
mm. Because the next chapter of your life may be waiting on the other side of one room, of one conversation, and one decision to finally invest in yourself.
Love that. I love that. One
Ooh,
decision.
that was so
One
big. Yeah. I
decision.
think I've
Good. I'm gonna use that for content. That's
Yes.
good.
I think I would talk to her about how we can overthink, and that can come from a protective space,
Mm,
and we can allow doubt to creep in, we can analyze, we can stay here when we know that the heart holds the truth of our desire, and to have that deeper knowing is what you're actually craving, and you
Yeah.
will find it here,
Mm.
and you can trust us to
Yeah.
find it, to help you find it here. So
Absolutely.
we need you out of here into
Oh,
here.
yes.
oh, that's beautiful.
Warm fuzzies.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, the one sentence that I would say is just trust yourself. Trust yourself. You know if this is the right next step, right? And you know if it's not for you or it's not your community. But what I will say is whether we are it or not, get in community. get in community, find your tribe, find your people, right? That can
So
hold
important.
you up, you know, that can lift you up, and hold you in the light of goodness, you know, because we all need that and deserve that. And it's just amazing. You know, you show up stronger because you're loved by people, right, that are walking the journey with you. And so that is God's design and God's heart for us. And so um, that is, that's what I got for you. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. All right. So look, y'all, this was so much more. Look, when I was like looking at the agenda for today, I'm like, okay, behind the scenes, okay, cool, right? But like, never did I think it would be like a sister moment for us. I love that so much about this.
So fun.
Yeah, my heart is just bursting. So listen, if you didn't hear nothing else, y'all, from today, right? I wanted you to hear that Wealthy and Worthy is about so much more than just being an event, right?
Yes.
It is an intentional creation of a space for women to think bigger, to believe bigger, to dream bigger, right? To rest more deeply and to build wealth differently, right? We want y'all to be connecting with other women who really understand, right? Those nuances, those unique challenges, and the opportunities, right, that come with this level of ambition, leadership, and legacy building, which is a responsibility, right? And so if you've been waiting, if you've been deciding to wait, right? Or you're one of those who've been looking for a sign from the universe, right? This is it, okay? Quit playing and join us August 21st through the 23rd in Atlanta, all right? We're going to be talking about courage, career, family, wealth, legacy. We're building community, we're building connections, we're building wealth. First day of the conference, our Legacy League traders, like Talana mentioned, we're trading live together on Friday. So listen, we are doing it, and you will be connected with like-minded, but also like-hearted women. And so again, early bird pricing ends July 1st. Head on over to wealthyworthy.org to learn more and grab your seats. And we just can't wait to see y'all in Atlanta. So we'll see you next Wednesday for another Wealthy and Worthy. Same place, same time. So have the best week, y'all. Bye.
Yes.